Hello friends, this is Barbara from Wigs and Fluff. I'm trying very hard to get you this video, but I have a little camera that's giving me a lot of trouble. Now, the picture that we're doing today is this one here, which is a 4th of July picture with the flag, fireworks, little sparklers, and a little mason jar with some grass. First thing you need to do is to get yourself an 11 by 14 canvas, then use some gesso on it, and then cover it with a layer of phthalo blue. There it is, phthalo blue. There's the name right there. I just use Liquitex Basics. It doesn't really matter which color or which kind for this. And then after I've done 2 coats with that, then I use a fan brush, and I'll find it in here eventually. It's hiding from me. There it is. Like this, and white paint to make stars on the canvas. You can see I've done some stars. And then I come back with my little pointer brush, if you can see it right there, and I've made some stars up here in the left-hand corner because that's where the American flag, the stars on the American flag are going to be. And I've put in some grass using my 1/4 paintbrush, slanted paintbrush, and I've used hunter green and white together, and that makes you a luminous grass there. And then I flicked stars as well over the top of the canvas, as you can see. So now the next step is to put in the rest of the flag. As you can see, the stars here are just those little stars. And I'm going to start with the white stripes, as you can see, going down. So that's what we're going to be doing first. And I'm going to find my little brush that I like to put those in with. It's got some white on it. I don't know if I have another one over here or not. Usually I have 2 of those because I use them so much, but not today. Oh, there it is. I do have 2. Okay, so here's the bigger slanty brush, and I'm going to use that with some white paint, but I'm going to get myself some more white paint before I do that. Put a little bit more in the pot. I'm going to use it. Okay, so now we're going to get the white paint on our brush, and we're just going to do about 5 strokes over. There's 1. We're going to leave some room for the red. Remember the red and white stripes? For those of you who don't know what the flag looks like. And if you go into this part in here, that's what I want you to do. I want you to go right in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is just a projection in the sky. We have to remember that. So we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking to get our flag done. So we're going to make some stripes. And I'm not looking to do anything real careful. I'm just putting them in. Now, we're going to come back and we're going to do the red ones. You'll see. Okay, so right in between we do the reds. And you'll have to do 2 coats of this red because it's not going to stand out well enough if you don't. If you can see it, the red and white. And we'll come back and work on the white a bit more. Come back and work on the red a bit more until we get it the way we want it. That's a good thing about this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just red and white stripes looking like it's been projected into the sky on the 4th of July. I love the 4th of July. I love the fireworks. I love the cookout, even though I can't eat most of the stuff. I like to be with the folks who can. I enjoy that. Okay, so you want to start and stop with the white. So I'm going to rinse this off again. It's hard to get the red off. And go back into the white. I'm going to get my white. If they bleed, it's all good. Don't worry about it at all. It all goes to make it look like it's being projected into the sky. And my last one is going to be a nice white stripe across the bottom. Go back into some of this. Got a little yellow in there, but that's okay. We'll work with that. This is just being projected into the sky, so we're not going to be real fussy. It just looks like that's the fireworks part of it. And it's just gotten, well, that's wrong. There we go. So, you can just keep working on this thing until you get it to where you want it. Now, you're going to have to dry this. Get my hair dryer. Okay, so now that's dry. Now, I'm going to get more red paint. If I can find my red. I'm having to do this one-handed because my camera stand has decided to dysfunction. So y'all will have to bear with me but I want my red to show up. So I'm going to go back in there. Because otherwise it turns dark and you really can't see it that well. And I'm going to leave that stripe of gold right there. I don't know if you can see it, got a little yellow in there. I think that's cool. I kind of like that. Gives it that funky looking projected in the night sky look. So, okay, now we're going to dry that and make sure that that's all dry. Sometimes if I put one of these in here, it's not going to fly. Sorry, I'm having a really hard time. Okay, now then, I'm looking up here and I think I'm going to use my little spotter. If I can find that spotter. There it is. And I'm going to go back into the white with that spotter. And I'm going to make me some more little, and maybe go back over some of these to make them a little brighter. See, now it stands out. I really like that. I think that looks pretty cool. Now then, I need chalk for the next step. So I'm going to be looking around here for my chalk. There it is. And what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to show you how to draw a little mason jar. It is not that easy, not that hard. So to do it, you just need to have a couple of round edges. Start with something like that, and then you make the top. Kind of like that. Only I think I want to move it over just a bit so it's not in the middle of my grass. And that's the thing about chalk, you can do that. You can move it. And I'll show you how that works at the end. Okay, so now we have the shape, and I'm going to show you where to put your, well, first of all, we're going to put a heart in the middle. So I'm going to draw my heart. There's my little heart. And then I'm going to put a line here for a sparkle on the glass. And I'm going to put two up in this corner and a long one here. And then in the middle, down here, I'm going to put the edge. And this one's got let me get that edge right. Okay, so now you can see how I drew it. Just 2 lines on either side. It's really pretty easy. And then you do the top and then the heart. I use chalk because it's much easier to get things in place that way. Now, also, while I'm at it, I'm going to add in my sparklers. So my sparklers, depending upon where I want them to go, one can go that way and one can go this way. So, and of course, I'm just going to make the little X's so I know what I'm doing. With that, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to go back in and do some of my grass to get that completed. Some of the hunter green and the white. And I'm going to make some more grass. Right up next to the jar. You can see it's right up next to it. So that's done. Now I'm going to outline the jar with white using this little pointer pen. It's very small. It's a very small tip, and I get just a little bit on it, and I'm going to just paint down the very side of the mason jar. Rest your hand. It should be dry by now, so you could rest your hand and get that side right. Then I'm going to come in here and, of course, do my little heart. I'm going to go back over this. I'm going to do it very lightly because I'm going to go back over this with a different color. All right, now then I'm going to go do the top of my little mason jar. And I see I picked up some yellow, doesn't matter. This is a very loosey-goosey painting. So it doesn't matter if you get a few of the colors mixed in, as long as everything is dry. Now remember, this is still wet here, so be careful with your hands. There you go. You see I've painted the outside pretty much. Got a little bit dry there. All right. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my little shines where the light shines through. Being very careful to get my hand right there in that paint. Because I am very good at that. Getting my hand in the middle of the paint. There's the bottom of the jar. Now I'm going to go in there and get some red and come in here with this heart and some white. So it's going to come out kind of pinkish, but it does help to make it pop, as you will be able to see. And I'm going to go back and do a little pinkish on here, a little pinkish in here. All right. Next, I'm going to get some of this brown. Remember, we used the brown paint. It was burnt sienna. We used burnt sienna, and that's what we're going to use for our, I think I need to stop and dry what I have. now then, I think we can get back in here and we're painting, is just the very handle of the sparkler. And it goes right on through everything. It can be seen right into the jar. So make sure you get it all the way down to the bottom. I know the photography here isn't that great, but it's about getting this done right now. I've had so many stops and starts. Okay, here's the one to this side. And I'm going to paint it right about up in there. So there you go. See those two little sparklers like that. Now I'm going to rinse this out. And now we're going to work on the flares from the sparkler. First we're going to take some white and we're going to make a circle in the middle. See that? And that's where the yellow comes in because we're going to put yellow right on top of that. It's going to make it yellow-white. And then I'm going to come out from that in like a burst. I'm going to go back into the white and put some more in the white in the middle. So you've got yellow-white here. And I'm going to bring the sparks out just like that. Depending upon how long you want them, right on top of the American flag. And then I'm going to go into the blue in this picture, and I'm going to do some blue on this one coming out. All right, and go back into the water, and I'm going to get my white again, and I'm going to do little white, if you can see them at the tips at the top, just little white lines going out. Emphasis lines, they're called. Emphasis lines. So that it begins to look like a firecracker or a sparkler. Really, that's what we're going for, sparklers. And I'm going to put some more white in that middle. And bring it out. So that it really looks kapowy, like a sparkler. Now we're working on the one over here and we're going to make it red. But first, we're going to start with our white in the middle. And we're going to go to the yellow, go over the top of it with the yellow, just like we did before, and the white. And then we're going to come out. See how we're doing that? Get back into the white. Put the white back in the middle because it's white hot. Now I'm going to go into the red. Got to make sure it's seen. It will be. It will be. Make sure you don't do yellow and red because that makes orange. So you don't want no orange. So go back over those red. And then we're going to rinse this off because we're going to go back into the white and do those little tips things that we did over here. So just those little marks, those emphasis marks. Then we're going to dry the whole thing and we'll be done. Isn't that easy? And this will look lovely in your house. Take your time. Do it carefully. I'm a bit rushed, I have to admit, because I've had trouble with my camera. But you don't have to worry about that. And there they are, the two sparklers. And what I'm going to do is additionally is I'm going to get my little spotter and I'm going to put me some more stars in the sky. Because I think that's cool. There we are. And there's your picture. See if I can get it to stand up. There it is. Beautiful mason jar, grass, the American flag flying. They've exploded an American flag with the fireworks, and there's the sparkler sitting in the jar with a little heart. So there we have it. The last thing you'll need to do is to sign it. This other one is signed. It's right down there at the bottom. See my signature, BW. So that is how we do this little patriotic number. I know my photography has been really poor, but these cameras are giving me a hard time with this. But anyways, that's the painting for the day. I'll see you tomorrow.